Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you decide to actually watch this educational tape. Now, we're going to introduce you to the world of hypnotherapy. For those of you who've just got this video, my name's Alex Leroy, and for the next 40 minutes or so, I'm going to demonstrate to you what a normal hypnotherapy session might be like. The reason I say might be like is because all we're going to demonstrate on this video is a very basic suggestion therapy session to stop somebody smoking. The reason I've chosen to demonstrate how to stop somebody smoking is, by far, most of your work as a hypnotherapist, certainly in your early days, will be people who want to stop smoking. That's where you'll make most of your money. So logically, it's advisable that you know exactly how to conduct such a session. In the course tapes that you'll have got with this, the audio tapes and the printed literature, we'll have dealt how to deal with phobias, emotional problems, and other habits and fears and everyday things that a hypnotherapist encounters. As you know, your course doesn't just cover suggestion therapy, and neither does the session we're about to do. Suggestion therapy basically means giving somebody suggestions, either to do things that they're not already doing but they want to, or to not do things they are doing but don't wish to continue doing so. Now, NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, basically that's where you get people to imagine images and sounds in their mind. An element of that will be used in this session. So when you watch and you see me start suggesting that Laura, our subject, should imagine herself looking in a mirror or a television set, that is a principle of NLP, as described in the text of the course. Initially, also, as well as NLP and suggestion therapy, psychotherapy is used on a very, very low level, and I do mean low level. When you're dealing with major emotional problems, you'll have to refer to the printed course notes and the audio tapes for more information on that. Only few points I'd like to point out here again is your consulting room, if you're going to have one as opposed to visiting the person's home, should be somewhere that's nice and relaxing, preferably warmer rather than cold to promote the relaxation. You yourself should be dressed smart, successful looking to instill that psychological belief that if you look successful, you must be good at your job. And if you're a hypnotherapist, that means you're a good hypnotherapist. So obviously you can do as you say. What is going to help, which you can't see in the background here, because obviously this is just an example, is that the diplomas you will get at the end of your course would of course be on display on your consulting room wall, which again embeds that belief and expectancy that we spoke about. In general, if you haven't already got it, I'd advise you to get the stage hypnotism video that we also promote and sell, because on that, although the techniques of induction are mainly applicable to the stage environment, they can be used in therapy as well to a greater or lesser degree. But the important thing is the theory contained on the stage hypnotism video. That too is just as important with reference to the inductions. Anyhow, all the theory is on the audio tapes and in print. And in the books, the audio tapes, was far more about hypnotherapy than we could ever show you on video. So we're just going to cover stop smoking, and for the next 40 minutes or so, just listen. The important things to see here is my body language. Now, although Laura will have her eyes closed and cannot see my body language, psychologically, if I hold my body sat up like so, I naturally feel more confident and alert and talk with a more kind of spring in my step attitude, whereas if I slouch backwards, start to get a little bit tired sounding, not too bothered. Your body language, although not seen by the client, helps you get those different voice tones that are so essential to bringing about the different states of mind in your client. So when you're watching this video, look at what I do with my hands, my body, because doing those things yourself, although they may seem pointless and you may feel daft, will help you naturally get the right tones of voice. The difference is between you're wide awake as opposed to you're going deeper and deeper to sleep. You'll notice the way I draw some words out, the way I say other words fast. So let's stop talking about it and actually do it. Laura's already here. Obviously she would have just arrived at the consulting room. I would have asked her name, introduced myself, established the fact I'm a professional hypnotist, asked her what her problem is, which we've established is stopping smoking, and then we would get her to lie down on the consulting room couch, and it would go something like this. Okay, Laura, are you nice and comfortable like that?
Yes.
That's great. All I'd like you to do then is just close your eyes and take a few nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and continue breathing deeply and regularly at all times. The first thing I'd like to say to you is that if at any point you should hear fire alarms in the building or any normal sounds of an emergency, you'll be able to just open your eyes and leave the building. Anything that's protecting your own safety you'll be able to do with the greatest of ease. However, any noises that are not alerting you to danger, such as passing cars, telephones ringing or doors banging and closing, will merely serve to help you relax more and more, because you know that they're just normal everyday sounds and not signs of danger. So as you continue breathing deeply and regularly in through your nose and out through your mouth, I'd like to listen only to the sound of my voice. And for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm just going to suggest things to you that I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye. So you may not be able to see these things too clearly. That's fine. I just want you to think of it. If I say, for example, think of a teddy bear, you might not actually be able to see a teddy bear, but as long as you think of that phrase in your mind, that will be just as good. Whatever's best for you will be perfect to achieve your aims. So to start with, we need to relax both your mind and your body to a level of relaxation that will enable us, with 1,000,000% certainty, to achieve your aim. The aim of becoming a healthy non-smoker. And to do this, I'm going to mention different areas of your body, from the tips of your toes, working through your body, to the tips of your fingers. And each time that I mention a muscle group, for example, I'll start off by saying, think about your feet. When I mention that area of your body, I'd like you to tense all the muscles in your feet, or whichever area that I'm mentioning. And imagine that as you do so, in your mind's eye, you can see two pieces of rope tied together in knots. And that these knots represent all the stresses and the tensions and worries of days and weeks gone by that are stored in that muscle group. And then as I count from 3 to 1, in your mind's eye, imagine the knots untying so that they become separate pieces of rope. And on the count of 1, when I click my fingers like that, you'll see the ropes finally separate. And as they separate in your mind's eye, so you can physically just let the muscle groups relax as 100% total reality. So we'll start with your feet. Tensing up all those muscle groups. Imagining in your mind's eye that those muscle groups, those knots that you can see in your mind's eye tied together. As on 3, those knots slowly starting to untie, and as they do, on the count of 2, in reality, those stresses, tensions, worries, fears, and apprehensions of days and weeks gone by, leaving your mind and leaving your body now. As on 1, they separate, so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired. And it's almost as though you can feel your feet are starting to tingle a bit, or feeling a little bit warm. And that feeling of warmth and relaxation, moving now to your ankles and lower leg area. Imagining in your mind's eye that those muscle groups are those knots once again. As on 3, all those stresses, tensions and worries are stored in those knots in your mind's eye. So on 2, see those knots starting to untie rapidly in your mind's eye, and as they do in turn, as reality, those stresses, tensions, fears, apprehensions and worries of days and weeks gone by, leaving your mind and leaving your body now, as on 1, relax, so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired, as you use your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively. It's almost as though you can feel your body sinking down into that comfortable settee. It's almost as though every movement would be a great effort. You're not quite sure if you're going to go to sleep now or in a few moments' time. If that feeling of warmth travels now to your knees and your upper leg area. Again, visualising in your mind's eye those knots as on 3. All those fears, stresses, tensions, worries and apprehensions of days and weeks gone by, leaving your mind and leaving your body now. 2, relaxing more, and on 1, just separate those knots, becoming separate pieces of rope and becoming so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired. As that feeling of warmth moves from your feet to your ankles, from your ankles to your knees, from your knees to your hips. That feeling of warmth, that feeling of relaxation, allowing your whole body to sink down into that comfortable chair. You feel yourself relaxing more and more with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear and every word that I say. My voice may become but a distant sound. That does not matter one little bit. Just let your mind wander free. If you're not consciously aware of what I'm saying, that matters little. Let your mind wander free to a time and a place where you remember thoughts of happiness, warmth and relaxation. We move now to your chest area and your abdomen. Each and every muscle group tied together in those knots like you imagined before. All those stresses, tensions, worries, fears and apprehensions of days and weeks gone by, leaving your mind and body now is on 3. Those knots starting to rapidly untie. 2, untying quicker and quicker, and on 1, just separate. So limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired as that feeling of warmth and relaxation continues to flood your entire body. As we move now to your shoulders, and every muscle from your wrists to your elbows, from your elbows to your shoulders. That's right, each and every muscle group, from your fingertips to your wrist, from your wrist to your elbows, from your elbows to your shoulders. And these are the muscle groups where all the real stresses, all the tensions, all the worries, all the fears, all the apprehensions, all the things that have been bothering you are stored. You can see all those little thousands of knots in your mind's eye, representing all that stress and tension that's been building up in the past weeks, building up in the past months, building up in the past years that you just want to offload. So on 3, see those knots starting to rapidly untie. Hundreds and hundreds of little knots untying. Hundreds and hundreds of little muscle groups relaxing more with every second that passes by. On 2, hundreds and thousands of them all falling apart. You can see those knots separating, those ropes becoming separate. As on 1, they separate completely. Just see them all separate and fall to the floor. And as you do, just notice how suddenly all those muscles feel so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tight. Notice how good it feels. Notice how good it feels for all those feelings of negativity to have left your mind and left your body now. You relax more with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear and every word that I say, because finally, that feeling of warmth, that feeling of relaxation that moves from your feet to your ankles, from your ankles to your knees and all the way through your body is finally moving all the way down your back and all the little muscle groups in your back and in your neck and in your cheeks and your jaw and your eyelids and all the little facial muscles. So one last time, imagining those muscle groups as knots tied together in your mind's eye, storing those final few little stresses as on 3, rapidly untying. 2, see the final few knots untying and separating. And on 1, relax each and every muscle group in your body, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers, feeling so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired. From this moment forward, that feeling of warmth, that feeling of relaxation will continue to flood your body from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. And you'll notice that with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, and every word that I say, that you'll sink down deeper and deeper. And you'll find the deeper you go, the better you'll feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you'll go with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, and every word that I say. Just allowing your mind to wander free, noticing that as you lie there, it's almost as though you're sinking down into that comfortable chair, almost as though every movement will be such a great effort. It's just so much easier to let yourself go, so much easier to let your mind wander free. Because now, you're so deeply relaxed, so deeply asleep, that your body is in the correct state for you to achieve your aims. But we just need to allow your subconscious to take over. Now you can rely on your subconscious, because just as it makes the blood circulate around your body 24 hours a day, so you can trust it to take you to a level of mental and psychological relaxation that's right for you. You continue to drift deeper with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, and every word that I say. So what I'd like you to do is imagine in your mind's eye a staircase with 10 steps. Now this is a staircase of relaxation. And your subconscious mind is going to take you to a level of relaxation that's right for you. Because each and every step we take down this staircase is going to double the level of relaxation you feel. So if you were relaxed to say 70% at the moment, that would double the first step down, and then double up again and again with every breath that you take, every step down that staircase that you take in your mind. So starting on the top number 10 step, taking that first step down into relaxation, that first step down into serenity and calmness, moving down in your mind's eye, sinking down in your thoughts. On 8, drifting down deeper, with every step you move down, going deeper, and the deeper you go, the better you'll feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you'll go with every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, and every word that I should say. 7, twice as relaxed now as every muscle group becomes so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired. 6, relax. 5, twice as deep now, sinking down into that comfortable chair, my voice becoming but a distant sound as on 4, deeper and deeper. 3, relaxing more with every breath you take, with every second that passes by. 2, drifting down deeper. You can feel yourself sinking down into that chair. My voice is becoming but a distant sound. And on 1, taking that final step down, it's almost as though everything's going dark. As you drift away in your mind, as you let your mind and your body wander free, as my voice becomes but a distant sound. Because from this moment forward, with every breath you take, every noise you hear, and every word that I should say, you'll continue to drift deeper with every breath, every noise and every word. You'll find that the deeper you go, the better you'll feel, and the better you feel, the deeper you'll go. As you sink down deeper, and those muscles become so limp, so loose, so relaxed, so heavy and so tired as your mind continues to wander free. Because Laurie is now so deeply relaxed, so deeply asleep, that anything I suggest to you to do for your own good, you will do. Anything I suggest to you will happen for your own good. Because today, Laurie, you made a promise to yourself. You made a promise to yourself to become a healthy, confident non-smoker. And indeed, you are a healthy, confident non-smoker from this moment forward. And whilst on occasion it might be okay to break a promise to a friend or a close loved one, your subconscious mind will never allow you to break a promise to yourself, because it has to be 100% reliable at all times. And just as you can rely on your subconscious to allow you to breathe 24 hours a day without a conscious thought or any physical action on your part, and just as it circulates the blood around your body, so you can have complete and utter confidence that your subconscious will ensure you continue as a confident, healthy non-smoker, which you have now become. Because from this moment forward, several strange things are going to happen. And they will happen as an automatic reflex action. You'll positively encourage them to happen. You'll enjoy them happening, even if at that second in time they don't seem so enjoyable. Because you've made that promise to yourself to have a cigarette-free future. So from this moment forward, whenever you see the government health warning on a cigarette packet, in a magazine, on a billboard, in any form of advertisements, it will now read smoke, choke, death and disease. Each and every time you see the government health warning on a cigarette packet, in a magazine or on a billboard, you will notice it no longer reads as it did. It now reads in your mind as smoke, choke, death and disease, reminding you there are no good reasons to smoke, but there are hundreds of good reasons to remain a healthy, happy, confident non-smoker, which you have now become. And each and every time you see a cigarette, in your mind's eye you'll see a number 19 on the tip of it, reminding you of the 19 deadly poisons in cigarettes. Reminding you that arsenic, one of the great killers, if you had a cigarette full of that, you wouldn't even attempt to light it up. Your conscious mind would not allow you. However, each and every time in the past, each and every time when you were a smoker, each and every time when you did light up a cigarette, you were inhaling arsenic amongst the many deadly chemicals, but in such small quantities that it killed you slowly, in a painful, slow way. You no longer want, you no longer need, crave or desire for cigarettes or tobacco in any way, shape or form. The idea of smoking positively repulses you. You look back on the past and think how daft you were to smoke. But there's no reason to feel daft. There's no reason to feel ashamed. You can feel proud within yourself because you are now a confident, healthy, happy non-smoker. Each and every time you see the government health warning, it now reads smoke, choke, death and disease. Each and every time you see a cigarette, on its tip you'll see a number 19, reminding you of the 19 deadly poisons in cigarettes. You notice that no noises distract you whatsoever. In fact, any noises merely serve to send you deeper and more relaxed. Because each and every time you see the number 19 on the tip of a cigarette, not only does it remind you of the 19 deadly poisons, the 19 good reasons to stop killing yourself slowly, to stop killing the loved ones around you slowly, and innocent children around you, but also it will remind you that you no longer need, want, crave or desire for cigarettes or tobacco in any way, shape or form. For this moment though, I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye a television set. And I'd like you to imagine that on this television set you're watching a picture of yourself, a video if you like, of yourself in the past when you were a smoker. Watch yourself on the screen of this television. Notice yourself smoking. And notice how now, as a confident, healthy, happy non-smoker, notice how when you watch yourself in the past, how you look back and think, well, I wish I'd stopped sooner. Notice how proud you feel in yourself watching that video and reminding yourself what you have achieved by giving up smoking. Notice how good it feels to have people walk up to you and say, well done, you've not smoked now for months. Notice how proud you feel inside, how good, what a sense of achievement it is. Doesn't that feel good? Notice how that remains with you every day and grows stronger, that feeling of pride within yourself for managing to achieve something you thought would be so difficult in a way which was so ridiculously easy. Notice how other people envy you because your clothes now smell so much fresher. Notice how when you're eating your food, it tastes so much nicer as you're eating your dinner, watching this video of yourself in the past. Notice how you think to yourself, how much of your life you potentially wasted by smoking. Notice how happy you feel to still be alive, to be healthier and happier than you've been in years, to effectively have added extra time to your life. Notice how good it feels. Because that is how your life is going to be. You've become a confident, healthy, happy non-smoker. You've made that promise to yourself and your subconscious won't allow you to break it. But you don't want to break it because you no longer need, want, crave, desire in any way for cigarettes or tobacco. Because you can feel that pride within yourself, that sense of achievement, of achieving your aim. That sense of pride from people remarking how good you are for not having smoked for months. Notice how good it feels, because that is now reality for you. Now just go up to the television set, and as you do, notice as you walk towards that image of yourself in the past, notice how bad it feels to walk towards the idea of you smoking. You absolutely hate the idea. It makes you feel physically sick in your mind. You just feel so nauseous. You want to turn that television set off. You've got to get rid of that memory of ever smoking in your life. It just repulses you so much. So turn that television set off in your mind. Get rid of that picture. You no longer want to think about that. You no longer want that memory in your mind. Turn the television set off. And notice how much better it feels to have erased that picture, to have turned the television set off. Notice how much better you feel now within yourself, that those memories of the past, when you were killing yourself and the ones you loved slowly, are gone. And all you're left with is the reality of being a confident, healthy, happy non-smoker. And as you continue to breathe deeply and regularly, relaxing more and more, I'd like you to imagine now in your mind's eye a ruler, a measuring stick, call it what you will, with numbers from 1 up to 100. And this is your measuring stick of how easy it will be for you to continue for the rest of your life being a confident, healthy, happy non-smoker, which you now are. And there's going to be a little mark on one of the numbers, somewhere between 1 and 100. Because this is a measuring stick of your willpower, the willpower that you'll need in years to come to continue your new lifestyle as a confident, happy, healthy non-smoker, which you now are. And I'd like you, as you relax there, to just tell me the number between 1 and 100 that this measure is on, which will indicate the percentage of willpower that you have got at this moment in time.
6.
Okay, just relax. So it's very, very low. We need that to be as high as possible, because then we know for a fact that you'll never revert to that lifestyle that you had in the past, that one that you hated so much on the television. Fortunately though, this mark on the measuring stick is a mercury mark. It can be heated up. So imagine in your mind's eye taking a lighter and warming the mercury up inside this measuring stick, so that as it gets warmer and warmer, the level gets higher and higher. So the longer the flame heats up the mercury, the higher up the measuring stick the mercury mark goes. And keep allowing that heat to heat the mercury up until the mercury measure reaches 100%. Getting closer now. As it gets hotter, it's getting closer to 100. Closer and closer all the time. And the moment it reaches 100, because it's got so hot, just say yes. Okay, keep that flame there now. Keep that flame there. What we're going to do now is that number, that level of willpower is now at 100%. You've got 100% total willpower. You'll never, ever, never need to return to your previous lifestyle because you've now got an inner reservoir of willpower that you can draw upon whenever you need to as an automatic reflex action. But we need to ensure that it never drops down below this. So walk up to that ruler and just imagine breaking it in half so that it can never drop below 100%. Just snap it in half in your mind's eye. That's it. And now it can never drop below 100%. Just remember how you got it to 100%. You've now got total willpower. Because you never need, want, crave or desire for cigarettes or tobacco in any way, shape or form. Should you for any reason, purely to experiment, put a cigarette to your lips or tobacco of any form, the moment you inhale, you will feel nauseous to your core. You will feel sicker, physically sicker than you have ever done in your entire life. But the moment you give that cigarette to somebody, throw it away or butt it out, the moment you butt that cigarette out, give it to somebody else to smoke or throw it away. In other words, the moment you stop smoking it yourself, that very moment you stop smoking it yourself, those feelings of nausea will leave you as instantly as that. The very moment you get rid of that cigarette, give it to somebody else to smoke, butt it out or throw it away, but discard it in some manner, you will instantly find you've returned to normal in every way, and you will feel better than you did before, and you'll instantly be filled with a sense of pride for achieving your aim, for saying, no thanks, I don't want a cigarette. You'll feel so good within yourself. But the moment you try to inhale on a cigarette, it'll taste like burning rubber, like horse manure. It'll make you physically sick to your core. It's almost as though you want to rush off to the toilet and be sick, but you won't need to be physically sick because you'll just give that cigarette away. You'll just put the cigarette out or discard it in some other way. And the moment you do, those feelings of nausea will immediately, that very second, disappear, and you'll feel better than you've done in ages. You'll feel an inner warm glow of confidence, a renewed optimism to life, and that feeling of pride at achieving your aim. The smell of other people's tobacco when they're smoking, or on their clothing, or in their houses, will not bother you in any way, shape or form. That will never ever make you feel nauseous or sick. However, it is only, and I repeat, only when you try to smoke tobacco of any form yourself, then and only then you'll feel physically sick to your core, like you're on an ocean ship in the rough seas, like you're smoking burning rubber, like it's horse manure going down your throat. You really won't like it. But the very moment you give that cigarette away, discard it or put it out, then those feelings of nausea will instantly, that quickly leave you, and you'll feel better than you've ever done before. That feeling of pride will fill you up as well, with happiness, with confidence. And each and every time somebody says, do you want a cigarette, Laura? You're going to feel so happy that when you turn around and say, no thank you, I don't smoke. Just see yourself in your mind's eye saying, no thank you, I don't smoke. Notice how good it feels. Notice how proud you feel. Notice how confident you feel. Notice how much healthier you feel. Finally, I want you to imagine one final thing. You're going to imagine this only. It won't be in any way reality for you. Just imagine that you're pregnant and you're about to give birth to your baby. Just imagine you're in the hospital. Unfortunately, as you imagine this, I also want you to imagine that this was sometime in the past when you were a smoker, and not as you are now, a confident, happy, healthy non-smoker. And I want you to imagine yourself lying there, giving birth to the baby that you already love so much, even though you've never seen it before. It's feelings of love inside you that only a mother gets when carrying a child. That anticipation of holding your newborn baby in your arms, something you've never experienced before, something as new, something that's exciting, something that feels so good. And then just imagine how bad it would be if your baby wasn't healthy in the way you would want. Imagine how bad it would be, how upsetting it would be if your baby was not alive. Imagine how bad you would feel in yourself if the nurse turned round and told you it was all your fault because you'd smoked for years. Imagine how bad you'd feel if the nurse had told you it was all your fault, not just because you'd smoked during the pregnancy, but because you'd smoked for so much of your life. Fortunately, this isn't real. But notice how bad it would feel to know that you'd become, in effect, a murderer. Now just let those feelings disappear, let that image disappear. And now imagine yourself in a different hospital sometime in the future, giving birth to a baby. Sometime in the future from now, because you're now a confident, happy, healthy non-smoker. Sometime in the future, when you've not smoked cigarettes, whether it be for weeks or months, it matters little. And notice how good it feels, those feelings of anticipation again. But most importantly, notice in your mind how good it feels to give birth to a happy, healthy baby. Everything you've always wanted, everything you've always dreamed of. Notice how it fills you with happiness to hold your newborn baby in your arms. Notice how healthy it looks. Notice how good you feel. And notice how happy you are and proud of yourself, not only for giving birth, but for knowing that you never did anything to harm the chances of your baby being healthy. Notice how proud and happy you feel that you did give up smoking, that you did stop killing yourself slowly, that you did stop being a murderer to yourself, to those people around you, to that newborn baby. Notice how good it feels, because that is your reality now. The reality of being happy. The reality of being happy, healthy and confident in your new life as a non-smoker. Knowing full well that in the future, should you desire to have children, that they will be born happy, healthy in every way. That you will have done nothing whatsoever to harm their chances of a healthy life. Notice how good it feels to have taken control. Because you no longer need, want, crave or desire for cigarettes or tobacco in any form. From this moment forward, the government health warning will now read smoke, choke, death and disease, and each and every time you see a cigarette, the tip of it will have a number 19 on it in your subconscious mind, reminding you of the 19 deadly poisons in cigarettes, the 19 good reasons to give up smoking, the 19 good reasons to stop killing yourself and the others around you and the ones you love. Each and every time, and only when you put cigarettes to your mouth with the intention of smoking them, when they are lit, then and only then, you will feel nauseous to your core. You'll feel iller than you've ever felt before. But the moment you discard that cigarette, give it to somebody else or throw it away, the moment you stop smoking it, in other words, the very moment you stop inhaling on that cigarette, you will feel better than you've ever done before. All those feelings of nausea will disappear, and you'll be filled with an inner warm glow of confidence, a renewed optimism to life, a more positive attitude to get things done. Because from this moment forward, you've got an inner reservoir of willpower that can be drawn upon whenever you need to. Because you are a confident, happy, healthy non-smoker. You made a promise to yourself, and your subconscious will not allow you to break this. So I'm going to count from 1 to 10. Now on the count of 10, then and only then, you're going to open your eyes and you'll feel your normal self in every way. In fact, you'll feel better than you did when you came into this room this afternoon. So on 1, Each and every suggestion I've given you, completely, firmly embedded and cemented into your mind now, growing stronger and stronger with each second of each hour, of each day, month and year that passes by from this moment forward. Everything I've said growing stronger with every second that passes by. As on two, you'll find from this moment forward that each and every day when you awaken, you'll be filled with an inner warm glow of confidence, a renewed optimism to life, a more positive attitude to get things done, because on three, knowing and assured within yourself that you've got an inner reservoir of willpower that's completely 100% at the level you need it to be to achieve whatever you need to achieve. Because from this moment forward, Laura, you can equal the greatest achievements of life's greatest achievers as you continue on your life as a confident, happy, healthy non-smoker. Because on four, lighter and brighter in every way, almost as though your body's being washed with pure spring water, being revitalised, re-energised in every way. Five, feeling better and better, everything I've said going into your subconscious mind now and remaining there. 6, 7 and 8, lighter and brighter at all times. 9, coming up out of it, and on 10, open your eyes, you're wide awake. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. And that's all there is to it, Lorna, so I'll just excuse me one moment, because for the viewers at home, you may have noticed earlier on that there were some outside and background noises. Now the reason we've left those on is quite simple. In your everyday work as a hypnotherapist, it is inevitable that at that vital moment a fire engine will go by with its siren blasting. If you were to allow this to put you off every time it happened, you'd be forever starting the session again. That's why right at the beginning, when we were doing the hypnotic induction process, we said that any noises you hear will merely serve to help you relax more and more, and that only noises such as a smoke alarm that indicate immediate emergency there and then to the person and people in the room would awaken. By saying this, it does two things. A, it stops them from opening their eyes and having to have to start from square one. And B, because you've said it will merely serve to send them deeper and more relaxed, it actually helps heighten the level of trance they go into. I suggest that when you watch this video, you'll be able to get the idea of the different voice tones that are used at the different times. If you basically copy what I did, word for word, action for action, then you will get the same effect of stopping somebody smoking. The only difference really from stopping somebody smoking to helping them lose weight, or the very basic problems, is the words that you use, as detailed in the course and on the audio tapes. You can still do the different imagination exercises, except where here Laura visualised herself on a television screen as she was in the past as a smoker. You'd get them to visualise themselves as they were in the past, fat and overweight, and then as they're watching it, as they are now, losing that way. Each of these things with a little bit of common sense can be fitted to suit any problem. The imagination exercises are what are known as neurolinguistic programming, imagining images in the mind, and the suggestions given is what they call suggestion therapy. You've not seen on this video anything to do with noisy therapy, so don't get it mixed up with that. You've not really seen anything to do with psychotherapy or the other therapies taught in the course. What you have seen though is the use of different voice tones, different body language and different imagination exercises to help you understand what we're talking about in the course. In other words, when we say in the suggestion therapy part that certain words are said with an uplifting tone of voice, you've now heard it and seen it in action. And where it says a lower tone of voice, a drawn out like sleep, deeper, you've now seen and heard it in action. So when you're looking at the sections on psychotherapy and it says use different voice tones, you'll know what we mean. So I think really that you already, from watching this, combined with what you'll learn on the audio tapes and in the printed manuals, will have more than enough, certainly with a little common sense, to adapt what you've seen to lose weight, confidence, driving test nerves, all the things that you're going to make most of your money with. Start off doing the simple sessions like that, and not only will you get some money in, to many times recover the cost of your course, but also it will give you that experience and confidence that will help you through experience to understand what we mean by the rest of the training. Sometimes some of the things that we're trying to teach you will only become understandable, if you like, when you've had experience of doing sessions. So I wish you the best of luck in your future as a hypnotherapist. Please, if you have not already got the stage hypnosis video, send us a check. Not just because we want your money, but more importantly because there's things on that video that are also so important to all the different kinds of therapy. For now, my name's Alex Leroy. This has been your lovely assistant Laura, and you've been the student.